I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational.
You can do it!
But that just wouldn't be our style.
Welcome to Project Reclamation, where you rebuild, re-energize, and reclaim your life. So, Steve, what are you watching there, buddy?
I was watching Zlatan Ibrahimović.
What the fuck did you say?
He is an LA Galaxy star, but he is, I think he's Swedish. He's a Swedish soccer player.
What's the LA, like, LA has its own galaxy?
It's LA Galaxy. It was like one of the initial primary teams in the MLS, the Major League Soccer grouping.
What is soccer?
Yeah, exactly. It's where it's football, if you're English, or any other where in the world.
I'm not anywhere else in the world. I'm here. So football is football.
No, but I've been so jazzed up by like Women's World Cup. I mean, it only comes around every 4 years or every 2 years. There's like Women's World Cup or there's Men's World Cup. And
is that like a drinking contest?
No.
What is that?
We can go through this whole dance, but short or long is that
I'm just gonna fuck with you for half an hour.
No, it's just you.
The entire bonus
That's
episode
you just annoying
is me.
the shit out
what do you like? What do you mean, fucking?
Wait, so what is air?
Soccer?
How do they breathe it?
What is soccer?
Humans?
I don't know what
Explain to me
soccer
humans.
Is that communist kickball?
Football? Bro. Oh, so I got to tell you.
Dude, someone told me, they're like, "Oh, you got to get on board with soccer." I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "Well, it's the big."
Why is there such
Hold
a
on,
pregnant pause?
Dude, dramatic pause.
I know that pregnant pause is so long,
man.
right.
Well, dude, it's the most popular sport in the world. I'm like, well, yeah, that's because it's the only sport that fucking poor people can play.
That is probably true.
Oh, it's 100% true because they can literally, like the fucking pig or cow they just slaughtered, they can like literally pump air into its bladder, its stomach, and blow it up and kick it around.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know. Everyone can play it, and
every other sport you need, I guess, and baseball's probably the second biggest sport in the world. Let's be honest, because all you need. I'm just guessing. I could be wrong. It happens.
I don't know, actually.
But all you need for baseball, literally, some bases, a stick, and a ball.
I would think that it would be hard because, like, you do need gloves, but people make gloves out of, like, cardboard boxes. You need a baseball in and of itself. It's like...
Dude, you think some of these fucking Cuban motherfuckers, like, had some expensive gloves growing up? No.
No, probably not. I know Mariano Rivera is famous for shelling out, like, a little piece of cardboard and making it into a glove.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah. He's very nice.
And then there's the really tough ones that are like, I don't even need a glove. I just catch the ball with my hand.
You know, people who play cricket don't even use gloves, man.
Cricket, I would like to learn how the fuck cricket works. Because those games, it's like a weird game of, like, baseball. But it lasts for like 3 days.
Well, they have this thing called like the Super 9 or something like that. And short of the long is that it's like a 2-hour condensed version. They play it in India. It's super popular. It's almost like playing 3-on-3 basketball or like having rugby sevens.
It's like NBA Jam.
It's a smaller, quicker, faster paced game, which I think more and more people are drifting towards.
I was talking to someone today about NBA Jam. They're like, yeah, basically basketball today is like NBA Jam because every fucking team has like 2-star players and that's pretty much it. Yeah. I was like, dude, that's
all you need, right? That's all you need.
I was also listening to a podcast, and you're going to hate this, but it was about like sports conspiracy theories.
Oh,
they were talking about.
I probably would actually like this a lot.
So, there's a guy, I forget his name. So I'm sorry, guy who wrote the book I'm about to talk about, but he wrote a book, and the book is called The Fix Is In. And then he just came out with another book, and it's called. Fuck, dude. I need to do research, but I don't do research.
That's not what we do on B-side tracks.
Something along the lines of the fix is still in or the fix is in again.
Gotcha.
Something, a play on words on the first.
Fixed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
But basically, he talks about your major sports and how a lot of them are fixed.
Okay.
Very interesting. And now it is illegal for someone... I think anyone, but especially a third party, to go offer a player money to shave points or lose a game or throw a game.
It is illegal and it doesn't even matter first party, second party, third party, or any
However, it is not illegal, according to any fucking law or anything that exists, for the actual organizations to fix their own games.
I thought it was like a collusion thing, and I thought it was very, very much frowned upon. I think it's very, very much illegal. Like,
it's not illegal.
Okay, well,
It's not illegal. It's illegal if you.
I don't even know how to have this conversation because I don't even know.
No. So, and I'm going off of this guy and assuming he actually did his research because he's written a few books. It's illegal to reward someone for throwing a game, fixing a game, doing something. But if you work for the NBA or the NFL or whatever, and they just say, hey, you're on our payroll, we want you to do this, or even college sports, it's not illegal as long as there's no reward happening. So they can't say, Steve, we're going to pay you, $5 million to throw this game. But they can just say, hey, Steve, you work for us. The smart thing to do is the spread is 12 points. No, we want you to try to do whatever you can do to win this game by less than 12 points.
But this is what Tim Donaghy got in trouble for too. He was like the NBA referee that was I guess has a soiled name or a tarnished reputation, whatever you want to say, because he bet on games like that way.
Well, I'm not talking about betting.
No, but he worked in collusion. You're talking about collusion of.
I'm not talking about collusion. Collusion would be. Well, I mean, maybe that is collusion. It's just it would be literally your boss telling you what to do.
Construct to fix games.
Sure. Okay. So there was a study that was done.
Games.
I don't know if it was MIT or whatever, but they did I think 40,000 different games.
Okay.
And they did basically which games like the final scores were within the spread or without the spread. And the amount of games that fell into the wrong category were way past the statistical significant level. So it's very interesting.
I don't know if I have enough. I love sports and I talk about sports. I don't know if I have enough research or knowledge on the gambling, betting, fixing.
And I'm not saying one way or another, dude. What I'm saying is he was super interesting.
No, for sure.
He was on a recent episode of it's July. It's mid-July, 2019. This guy was on a recent episode of, I'm going to look up his name. He was on a recent episode of Tinfoil Hats with Sam Tripoli. No. Higher Side Chats with Greg Carlwood. Shout out to you, Greg Carlwood. He does an awesome, it's a conspiracy theory podcast. And usually he goes real deep into weird shit. But this one was kind of outside his wheelhouse. It was about sports. It's super interesting. I mean, I don't know how I feel one way or another, but the other one that was super interesting that he stated is every time a franchise, and he was focusing on, I think, NBA and he was focused on baseball and football.
Okay.
Every time a franchise has built a new stadium or a team has gotten a new stadium by moving to a new city, they have won some sort of a championship. Not necessarily like the like World Series or the Super Bowl, but like an NFC, AFC championship, like a whatever, what do you call the MLB fucking before you get to the World Series?
Yeah.
The ALCS or some shit like that. Except for 2 times. They have gone and like gone way further, like without any huge additions to their team, they've gone way further than they had gone the year before or years before.
Sure.
And that's just, it's very interesting. There's all kinds of weird things. And like, dude, when it comes to conspiracy theories with me, like I don't necessarily I don't have the answers to everything. I don't even need the answers to everything. I just like to question things. And a lot of times what I find that the narrative doesn't make sense, but there's not enough information for me to put the whole story together. I.e. 9/11, i.e. the fucking JFK assassination. All these things are like, okay, what they're telling me does not make fucking sense, but I don't know what the real story is.
Sure.
So that might leave a lot of people like uneasy, like, well, I need to know. I'm like, it just kind of validates my whole, like, I don't fucking trust big business, big government, big anything.
Well, good. I don't even know how to have a conversation with you about this because, like, you know me, I'm not a conspiracy.
That wasn't what I was. We weren't setting out to do an episode about this.
Oh, no, I know.
You mentioned that,
but I do feel like as though you are very, very conspiratorial. If that's the right word. If that's right.
Okay, so his name is Brian Tuohy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's Tuohy. And like I said, The Fix is in. Which was published about 10 years ago. And then his new book is called The Fix is Still In. More corruption and conspiracies the pro sports leagues don't want you to know about.
Classic.
So if you're into sports and if you're into conspiracies, I mean, these are 2 books I would recommend checking out. Might be interesting.
Boom. That's right. Bro, I am not going to lie to you, dude. I have missed recording these sweet B-side tracks We talk about any rando thing in the world, including your conspiracy theories. And I love it, man. I really, really do love it. Also, I want to give a shout out to Brett, former guest on the Sweet Podcast. Who,
and our resident graphic designer. Slash other host.
Hello.
Hi, Brett.
He's shouting out, but he gave us some sweet, sweet swag to promo, and it's Green Glass. Bro, if you haven't heard of Green Glass, you are out of the loop.
Yeah, Green Glass is the new shit. It's the new black.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Green is the new black.
Now, green is my favorite color. Everybody knows that.
Greenglassjars.com.
What kind of...
Hey, Brett, come here.
Are they like mason jars, or what is it? What am I?
They're stash jars.
They're stash jars.
You want to come say more than just 2 words?
Well,
or no?
I'm telling you, if you have anything to stash aside, like some bullets or anything like that, man, I would just put them in the Green Glass.
They're the perfect stash jar for your stash.
Mustaches and everything.
Closer?
There you go.
Oh, there we go. They're the perfect complement to your marijuana. So since marijuana is going to be legal everywhere soon, we figured you needed somewhere to put your stuff. So you pay a lot of money for it. You should keep it in good condition. You don't want dry, crusty weed.
So it's like spending a lot of money on a humidor if I'm like a cigar smoker.
But it's not even a lot of money.
So it's like spending a little bit of money on a good humidor that I got for a little bit of money because I spent money on my cigars.
Exactly.
Awesome. What if I want to store my heroin, cocaine, meth, or bath salts in Green Glass?
I do not condone, nor do I. What's the word I'm looking for?
Support.
Support. Confirm or deny. I mean, even if you don't smoke weed, you can put tea in it. You can put whatever you want in it. It comes with these little humidity pouches that keep it at a constant humidity. So people don't know that you need to store your marijuana at a roughly 62% humidity. Otherwise, it'll start to dry out. And we have a UV coating painting that goes over it because light will also degrade your marijuana.
Wow. I'm impressed. I'm impressed, Brett. So it really is like a little mini humidor. I like it. How much does like a basic stash jar run? Like a little basic. Give me like the bottom line, the bottom of the barrel.
I think they're around $40.
$40, not bad.
Here's the deal. I don't really, me. I have this like drug-free stance my whole life, and so I've never done a drug. But I will tell you that I do support Brett and I do support his company. This is really, really a cross kind of frictional thing, but I will tell you, I do support my friends and I do support my company. I do support his company, and I will also tell you this. Although I've never done marijuana or had any interest in doing it.
It's like how you said done marijuana.
Yeah, done pot.
I've never smoked the reefer, man. I've never done the pot.
I've never done the Mary Jane.
The Mary Jane.
Okay, and nor do I ever care to. I will tell you that as a medical professional, I can definitely see that there are a S-ton of medical benefits towards it. And also, just listening to like something prior, I will tell you that the cannabis plant or the marijuana plant had a lot of repurposing purposes for it too, like making canvas, or making a canvas-like cloth, out of cannabis.
Is that where the can comes from in canvas?
My understanding is that canvas was the derivation word for cannabis, and that's what the cloth is.
I have a question for you.
So, and also one of the things too is that I will say, although I don't do it, just like I don't binge drink on booze all night every night, but it is a legal form of things, and whether or not that's what you want to do for yourself, but we certainly tax it. And I wouldn't mind taxing the heck out of marijuana, like every other propagated, plant or alcohol or distilled item or something, because I think our public schools would benefit from it in California, let alone the whole United States of America.
I have an interesting question for you.
Yeah,
being a conspiracy theorist, obviously I dive deep into some shit.
Yeah, I know you do.
And I happen to know that a lot of the negative connotation of cannabis and cannabis-related substances was propaganda that was kind of put out by
William Randolph Hearst.
Possibly. I was going to say it probably came from Big Pharma. I would need to do a little bit more research.
How big was Big Pharma back in 1950 though, or whatever Reefer Madness?
Brett, was it the 1930s that it started? What? It started with the government. The cannabis propaganda.
Well, yeah, that was in the early 1900s, I believe.
Yeah. I think it was big in the 30s. So was Big Pharma probably, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I could do a whole, if I had a conspiracy theory podcast.
Big Pharma was that big.
I could do a whole thing on IG Farber, which I think that's what they were called. Now they're called a little company called Bayer. They originally invented 2 drugs. One was called aspirin, and one was called heroin. And they marketed heroin for all of your, pretty much all of your ailments. One of which was like your children's cough. Oh, your kid's got a cough? Just give them this heroin. It's cool. And they already knew that it had side effects, but they decided not to tell anyone. And then, that Nazi company, and they supplied the explosives and all the, chemicals to the Germans in World War I and the Nazis in World War II. And then they ended up changing the name to Bayer, and now they're, Big Pharma. And then recently they bought Monsanto. So if that doesn't scare you, I don't really know what would. But that being said, yes, a lot of the bad things that we think about cannabis were a lot of propaganda. Who they came from, I don't know, because I didn't research, so go figure it out. But being a medical professional, now I'm getting my question finally. Being a medical professional, you probably see a lot of people that are victims of, I would call it the opiate epidemic.
Yes.
If some of these people probably want to be part of the opiate epidemic, but some of them are probably, I've heard plenty of stories, and maybe they're glorified, but the person who went, like, had back pain or whatever, they got prescribed whatever, and they end up becoming a heroin addict because that's pretty much that's the only choice they have. Even if it's not heroin, that being said, you see a lot of people coming in. If, cannabis, CBD, THC, if there were an alternative that was maybe less horrible, do you see the benefit in that?
Of course I see the benefit in it.
Okay.
Yeah, of course I see the benefit in it. I mean, I know that there's a huge swing for CBD oil and CBD everything, like
sure.
this, that, and the other thing. I don't know of it myself. I've never used it before. I don't know how opposed I am to the oil version. I mean, I'm opposed to the whole vision of fucking the people that we went to high school with smoking pot and getting all like crazy and stupid and acting stupid. Like, that's what I'm opposed to. I'm opposed to that image, and I'm opposed to, I guess, I'm not a big fan of drugs in general. I also won't take like a lot of drugs in general, whether that even be over the counter drugs like Tylenol or ibuprofen. You know what I mean?
I'm with you there, dude.
But with that being said, if CBD oil that grew out of the ground and it could help you with your, I don't know what same medicinal properties marijuana might have. I'm really shrugging my shoulders right now because I really don't know.
I don't know all the details. I just know that there's quite a bit of science that backs up, the pain management properties of different parts of cannabis, and I think it's interesting. And I think it's even further interesting that people are so, especially, the FDA and stuff have been for so long so against it. But I also have to think about like the evils of Big Pharma, but also the influence of Big Pharma. And that's where I kind of like,
we're kind of going with it.
I kind of jumped down a rabbit hole, and I'm like,
dude, I mean,
because how many people die of fucking opiates every year? Like, how many people have really died of fucking cannabis?
Can I just say this? It's like the reason why I feel like there's so much backlash towards solar energy and green renewable energy right now is because the fossil fuel and the old coal ways of
same thing, right?
There's so much money wrapped up, and there's an infrastructure with that money wrapped up, right? And there's states that are dependent on that. Doesn't mean that West Virginia can't switch over to like, fucking put up solar panels and where they do. I don't know what their sunshine level is like out there, but you get what I'm saying. Same reason why it's like also like with pain mitigation. There's people are afraid like what's the newest biggest product? I mean, imagine this, and this is just me saying it in 2019. The internet's great, right? When AOL came out, holy smokes, dude! The fact
you
that
got mail,
yeah, but the fact that you could actually have mail and like you could chat with people in like a chat room with like people, that was like blew my mind. That was like revolutionary technology. But what took that over? Fucking shit, like everything Google, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, like, and AOL was shaking in its boots until, but there wasn't enough infrastructure there set up for such a long time because it was in 1982, I guess, or something like that.
Well, and I feel like every successful business, especially in like the tech industry, like had failed businesses before it that set it up. Like you look at fucking Facebook. What was before Facebook? Friendster, MySpace. Yeah. Companies that kind of paved the way and then failed. And then you got the other person that just sort of steps in, Google wasn't the first search engine. They weren't the second search engine. You had Yahoo and AOL and
Internet Explorer, something like that.
Well, and they're kind of still around.
I don't know.
But you have, I feel like every story of the successful, especially if we're talking about tech, like has like people that paved the way first and fucking failed. It's like the ones who succeed are the ones who just sort of wait, let someone else pave the way, and then just step in at the right time. Like, all right, I'll take this.
Yeah.
But also the weird thing about the medical industry, and I'm probably gonna, I don't know if I'm gonna piss people off here, but I feel like when it comes
Piss
to
them off.
Big Pharma,
It's a B-side track.
a lot of Big Pharma, the money's in the
Bananas
treatment,
too.
not the cure.
Treatment. Yeah, of course.
So
That was a
like,
Chris Rock joke.
if you had, for sure. So like, stem cell stuff is highly regulated and most of it's illegal. But the interesting thing is like, there's plenty of, there's no negative like reports of any stem cell stuff.
Well, I'm
but
sure
if you
there
look
might
at,
be.
there's plenty of like, there's an interesting, Mel Gibson has some interesting stories. His dad, pretty much got his life saved by stem cell stuff that's done by a doctor named Dr. Neil Reardon. He has a practice somewhere in Texas, but then he also has another practice in Panama where he does a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that you can't do in the U.S.
That's right.
And Mel Gibson, after this Dr. Reardon guy saved his dad's life, he went down and he got he had some rotator cuff injury. He got his rotator cuff treatment done. He also had a 50% blockage in one of his carotids, and they didn't treat that. They didn't even try to treat it, but his rotator cuff stem cell therapy that he got cleared his carotid blockage completely.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Stem cells are weird.
No,
I could go into it.
That's not in my.
I could go into it. It doesn't really matter.
It's not really.
And it could be completely anecdotal. I could be telling you a fake story. But
Sure.
if it's true, what I'm saying is if there was something that could, cure cancer or cure high blood pressure or cure diabetes, these are all conditions that people are on medications for their entire lives.
Yep.
So if you were to come up with just cures
The
for
cure.
shit. So that's why I have to wonder, and this is me being totally, negatively conspiratorial, how many things we could have or already have cured and we just don't know about it because the treatment is so profitable to the companies that, lobby our governments.
Sure. Two things. I
Very
think.
strange.
No, it's very, very strange. Two things I think. One of the things that government tries to do and that we entrust them to do is protect human and public interest. Meaning that, think about this: stem cell, all of a sudden, right? Like for the one shoulder injury that it replaces, that also clears up an external jugular or something like that, or an internal carotid. It's just like, think about this: it's the one male or female, whatever age. And then they want to get a new X, Y, and Z, so they'll go under. I don't know. They'll try and get a bigger chest, a bigger, more muscular chest, or something like that, or do something stupid for cosmetic purposes. When you would probably want to reserve that kind of stuff for maybe liver cancer.
Yeah, but you could regulate it. You could regulate it.
Sure, but then what? Then that's the hardest part, though. Like that's also the stuff that we entrust government to. Who's gonna help us regulate it? Who's gonna help us decide who regulates it? Because is it the current government that's in charge? So that's a whole big
no, for sure. It's a slippery slope,
That's
and
a very, very
we
slippery
entrust the
slope,
government, and we would love to think that most government officials are going to make the decision that plays into what you're saying. Keeping the public safe and to our best interest. But then elections are expensive, so you also have to wonder, like, who are they really like. And like, who are they really answering to? Who writes their paychecks? But and I could make another one, like, if we were to cure one of these diseases that keeps people on drugs their whole life, it could put some of these big pharma companies out of business, and that would kill thousands of jobs, and you could make that argument.
But once again, and I have to speak to this original point, and then I'm going to speak to that point.
Sure.
Too. So please try and remind me on that second point. But this original point is that it's not just big pharma, though. I know that if you cure cancer, and cancer is kind of a little bit of a hard one here because it's about genetic mutations of different cells in different parts of your body, and about metastasizing and how it attaches on or links up. But long story short is that if you find some way to stop the genetic replication of divisions of cells that are cancerous or on this autopilot for destruction, great. But it's not just big pharma that stops benefiting because they can't make any more chemotherapy. Guess
Hospitals?
What? No, it's like Susan G. Komen Foundation. It's like all these other foundations that are all set up to like really, really benefit too. Because it's like beyond the whole financial dismay that the Susan G. Komen thing.
If you really look into it, most of those, Susan G. Komen included. Please don't sue me. They're horrible organizations.
I haven't heard the best things.
My sister used to work in nonprofits, and she says that every nonprofit has you can look and see a rating, and it basically tells you what percentage of their income goes towards the cause that they're supposedly. And something in the mid to high 90s is a really, really good cause. Susan G. Komen, not only do they put a ton of other like cancer nonprofits out of business, but they squeeze them, they sue them, they fuck them, but they also have a horrible like return rate on how much of their money actually goes to what they're trying to.
And just for legal purposes, if anyone's listening, this is just for anecdotal evidence that Tim has heard.
I was talking. I know a woman named Susan G. Komen.
Yeah,
I wasn't talking about the actual.
He's not actually talking about the real foundation. Who this might be a Susan. This is just an anonymous Susan G. Komen that may live in this local area, and yeah.
But again, it comes back to money, dude.
No, but it all comes back to right. There is this huge infrastructure that is set up, and this is the second point.
So you're saying we shouldn't cure cancer because all these companies are raising money to cure cancer?
No, because unfortunately, here's what it is though too, and this is also like the biggest thing for me is that just because you shut down the coal mine, or you cure cancer, or you cure the illness, right, and you say, oh, there's no treatment, there's no more money, and there's money in the treatment, there's not money in the cure. I have to argue this is that, you know what, there's money in new technologies, meaning that you're right, we shut down the coal mine because we can't do fossil fuels anymore. But guess what? Or old school world techniques. But you know what? We could probably put it into new technologies or new solar paneling, right? So instead of training that person that's just going to put on a hard hat and go in the well and go in the mine, maybe we put on some safety glasses and we put them inside a lab, and then they're doing different stuff. Because I think that person is so dedicated and knowledgeable enough and has, I mean, if it's a man, and I say this and not as a sexist terms, but I say this, if you're a young, healthy man, you got a strong back, I think you want to work, okay? And I think they would work anywhere so long as they got that paycheck to take home, whether that be shoveling poop or shoveling clouds up in the sky. Someone's going to do something, and men want to work, you know? And so do women too, but people want to work.
Yeah.
People want to work because people want to feel value of their life and value of their time. And that second point, dude, is that if you shut down cancer, great. Okay, well then maybe it's something else now. Okay, well then there needs to be a technology that keeps all these things in play. It's not like you have this one magic bullet and then all of a sudden, bam! Just like HIV medication or antiretrovirals, you have to continually take the medication. It's not like you take it once and you're done, you're cured, right? Okay. Magic Johnson been taking this medication for the last 30 some odd years or whatever since in 88 or whenever he got diagnosed with her, whenever he came out that he had HIV or he's HIV positive. You still have to take all these antiretroviral medications, and so
but that's not a cure.
Yeah, you're right. That is not a cure. But if you do, okay, that's correct. That's very, very much correct. And that I guess that would that does kind of steer my argument in a little bit of a different direction. But I would say that is that you still, even if you had a cure, it doesn't mean that people won't develop cancer. Okay, it's not like you just take the one shot. Like, you know, I develop cancer and I get the treatment, and God forbid, but you know, the prevalence of people developing cancer and more people are being born every day, and it's just like that's the business will still be there.
Are clearly different. So I mean, you might create a cure for breast cancer, but
breast cancer. But
if you create a cure for pancreatic cancer, that'd be fantastic.
Oh my gosh,
the one that you're pretty much, that's like a 95% mortality rate. But
that and male breast cancer is like it's all high. It's a very, very high mortality.
No, I totally get it, dude. And I think the difference is I don't know that we necessarily found the perfect or a good or alternative to coal. We just decided coal was bad, so they shut down a lot of the coal plants.
We didn't decide coal was bad. We saw that the evidence that there is evidence out there for sure. By chance, my understanding of it is, and I'm not an environmental scientist, but maybe that there's a lot of carbon or something like that.
Well, you know, you could dig into it and find out that, you know, we lurch more towards, you know, the petroleum. There's a lot of deals there. Maybe it's a dirty fucking argument.
This world is dirty.
It's
all the
dirty
bonds
world,
are dirty,
and everything is everything is, and that's I guess my point.
Yeah. I get your point.
It's all fucking dirty.
Isn't it crazy? And I'm not.
And this all came from us talking about green glass.
I know, green glass, man.
Green
go
glass.
Get some. No, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the means. Brett's just shouting from the side. I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the means. And believe you me, I actually totally adhere to the idea that ignorance is bliss. Instead of finding out more knowledge about something, I'd rather live in the world that I currently live in, not knowing that much about it, and being happy and going to sleep at night knowing that I feel safe because I just pay taxes and I drive the speed limit and I stop when the light is red, and that's what I go. But I will tell you that there are people that want to knock down a door and want to like peer through the window, and if those two are, they want to kick up the sides of the floor mat to see where the key is, and they're just not going to lift on one side, they're going to look on all four sides. And I totally appreciate and respect that, because I do feel like as though this world is set up in a little bit of a different or a more in detail or a more in-depth manner than I would like to have imagined. But at the same time, once again, I like I said, I pay taxes. I follow the speed limit. I walk across the street when that little the white light guy comes on, and I just follow the rules, and I obey the rules, and I live in my own little peaceful world, and I'm totally content with that.
Well, and then you should listen to the last episode that JB and I did called Crisis of Faith, and we were talking about.
I was listening to the beginning.
Oh yeah. So we were talking about learning, going down the rabbit hole of some of these crazy things, and how is it actually a good thing or is ignorance bliss? And I think it just depends on who you are. Like, I enjoy knowing these things because it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't have a crisis of faith by learning that I can't trust the government, and I probably can't trust Big Pharma, and I probably can't trust anyone, or at least anything, like any industry, anything with money or power involved. I'm immediately skeptical, but that just kind of validates something that I already felt. So for me, it's not a big deal, but for you, like, you maybe don't want to know all that stuff, and that's fine. Yeah.
It's such weird. It's a tough row to hoe, but I will tell you this. Golly, I really think that, because you just end something or because you find a fix for one thing, I would say that there's plenty of other stuff that still needs fixing. And just because you fix one thing doesn't mean the whole industry's gone or whatnot.
Well, for sure.
And yeah, I don't know.
But then that just goes further to my point, that I question, why do, and I don't have any hardcore evidence, but why does it seem to me that they fight? But that makes sense, because even a kid who has 100 toys and he only plays with 3 of them, if you try to take one of his toys away, even if it's one that he never plays with, he's still going to fight to fucking keep that toy.
I always felt like it was about influence, right? Like, I feel I'm right. Like, that's such a human thing.
That could be it too.
Right? I'm right. I'm better.
We've been helping people, and then you idiot new company wants to
know the truth. Yeah. I have the answers.
I don't know, man.
It's not a male thing. It's not a female thing.
It's a human thing. Yeah,
right?
And I don't know the answers.
My sister is she's very, very much a beautiful woman, but my gosh, when we were younger, it was her way or no way, right? And now that I am the way I am, trust me, it is either my way or no way. And that's how it is. But I'm Democrat, I'm Republican. We're not in this crazy just 2-party system.
I think that's a good. I'm glad you brought that up. Whether we're talking about politics or any issue, I think it comes to the detriment of pretty much everything when people pick teams. It's like, well, I'm on this team. Like, I'm on Big Pharma team, or I'm on Big Pharma sucks team, or I'm on the D team, or I'm on the R team. Like, it's not that fucking simple. Like, every issue could
actually,
be
it is that simple when you're picking against the Patriots, though. I fucking hate the Patriots. I will always hate the Patriots. It doesn't matter.
But you know what I'm saying, though? Like, I think picking a team is ridiculous, and we see it the most in politics, because you see these people losing their fucking minds because something Trump did, or losing their fucking minds because it was like, whoa, Obama passed this law. People losing their fucking minds. And half the time I think that the Democrats and Republicans that we see fighting on TV, I think they go have drinks afterwards and they laugh about how stupid we are.
It's a show.
It's 2 heads of the fucking same snake.
And I really will be honest with you. There are how many people in America?
330 million, 350 million.
Whatever it is, do I really think that one person from one political party is going to answer all of your needs? No, you're just taking the person who has the best, the most interest that they present in mind.
They're all humans.
Yeah, and
so
trust me,
stop them, fucking athletes, fucking actors. Stop putting humans on pedestals. Yeah. They're just fucking humans. Some of them do awesome stuff. We love The Rock. The Rock does a lot of stuff, but the stuff that we like about him all shows through actions, Sure. We put him on a pedestal that as much.
You may hate the roles he plays. Why is he got to play another beefhead role?
For sure, but I guess what I'm saying is we're going down a lot of rabbit holes here.
No, I love it though, man.
But just they're all people. They're fucking humans. And humans are fucking. They're fallible.
That's right.
We all have issues, and so do they. Trump has issues. Obama had issues. Clinton has issues. He might have a lot of issues here, but it doesn't matter. We're all tempted by different things, and none of us are fucking superheroes. I don't get me wrong. I love superhero movies, but superheroes don't fucking exist. At least not right now.
Yeah. Or the superheroes that you really want are the ones that actually just wake up in the morning and go do the job that they signed up to do. Well, and there you go.
The superheroes are the ones who are putting out the fires in your neighborhood. They're the ones who are,
or who keep the daily economy going because they didn't want to call out sick for work or play hooky.
Fighting wars overseas. It doesn't there's heroes everywhere, but the people that I feel like we put on pedestals as heroes, they're not fucking heroes. They're just humans.
Yeah.
Even the Pope is a fucking human.
Yep. Although this new pope I like,
I
actually.
can't stand him, dude.
Oh, really? The guy from Argentina.
I hate popes in general.
Okay.
And I'm Catholic.
You are Catholic. I wonder.
I talked about this.
Are we touching into this little subject here?
No. It goes right back to everything else that I say and think about power and influence and money. My whole thing about like being raised Catholic my whole life, like my whole problem with the Catholic Church, and I didn't realize this until later on in life, but I started looking and I'm like, well, these fucking bishops and cardinals and the Pope, and like they wear these fancy clothes, and he has this fucking ring, and people are supposed to kiss his ring, and like, yeah, maybe this Pope like he washes more people's feet or whatever. But I'm like, dude, the point of my religion, as far as I'm concerned, is to emulate this Jesus guy, whether he was a son of God or just a dude, doesn't matter. He was a good
to live
dude.
a better life.
He
through
walked the desert. He lived in poverty. He hung out with fucking prostitutes and criminals.
That's right.
And tried to show them that there was a path to salvation. And whether he was a god or not, it doesn't matter. He was a good dude, but he had no riches. He didn't ask anyone to kiss his fucking ring, dude. And if he's the backbone of Christianity, then why is there so much weird fucking riches and power in the upper echelons of Catholicism and Christianity? That's the part that blows my mind. I can't fucking get on board with it. Do I hold the whole Catholic Church? No, it is what it is. I don't have a lot of faith in the upper echelons of the Catholic Church or the Christianity in general. I think I love the community of church, and that's where I think like that's where kind of I split, because like I think the communities, the structure of organized religion, I don't buy into it. I think it's bullshit, because structure equals money equals power. Money and power corrupt, and then you have corruption. However, I love going to church because I like the community. I like good people, good like-minded people, and I love that. And that wouldn't exist without some sort of hierarchical structure. So again, I'm not like I'm weird. I'm like, whatever, dude. It's cool. I get it. I hold no fucking super faith in the Pope or anything like that. But I do love, I like religion. I think Jesus was a good dude, whether you think he was a god or not. I don't know. That's just me. That's how I think.
Dude, I really, really appreciate you sharing that, because honestly, I don't think I can agree with you that I do think there's a lot of expensive ornamentation that goes along with higher echelons of religion, like the more founded religions. Although I don't know very much about the Muslim faith. I don't know
Neither
if
do
I could. I would never feel. I couldn't feel comfortable about ever commenting about that. But how you choose to practice is how you choose to practice. Meaning that like. If it is wearing a big gold cross because that's the way you want to express yourself through your Lord and Savior, like, great, I guess, but that's not how I would do it. But I also think that comes from a little bit of our background. Maybe you went to St. Raphael's. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been there a few times. But yeah, I mean, it's just
what it is, dude.
I don't think there's very, very heavy ornamentation or expensive ornamentation.
No, and I don't think it happens a lot at the actual like local church level.
Yeah.
Per
but
se. I don't think
the Vatican level.
But
you're right.
The Vatican. Well, there's
might be
the
something.
Vatican is so weird
there,
dude. But just in general, back to my point, dude. The Pope, the cardinals, politicians, the president, the prime minister of pick your fucking country, the fucking czar of pick your fucking country, the fucking king of pick your fucking country. They're humans.
True.
That's it.
True.
Tiger Woods, he was a human. When he fucked up, everyone's like, oh my God, not Tiger Woods. When, I idolized Michael Jordan, when we found out that he was a lecherous fucking scumbag, I had a little bit of a crisis of faith there. But
True.
You know what? Athletes, actors, and these, like, an actor comes out or an athlete comes out and says something political, and people like fucking jump all over each other because they want to like that dude is a fucking dancing monkey. Like, whether he's playing baseball or reciting lines, like, God bless him for doing his job. I might enjoy his movies. I might enjoy watching it, but he's an athlete or a fucking actor, or he's a whatever. They're all people, and people are not perfect.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know, keep that in mind. That's just my thing.
Damn, that's a hot B-side track right there, man.
Yeah.
Golly.
And then this one on a deep level here.
Hell yeah, man. We just changed it up on you. I hope you're listening to this midweek and your mind is just blown. Pow. Man, Project Reclamation.
Love it.
Different.
Do it.
Love it.
Join us. I think that's all I got, dude.
That's all we got.
All right. Be good. Until next time. Peace out.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.